All right, back again by popular demand, and by popular demand, I mean probably both our parents. All right, so we got
Five of our
Thursday,
close friends.
yeah, and our close friends who I see in the chat. Hell yeah, love it that we're already mixing it up. All right, so we're gonna start with Thursday night football, and then we're gonna, you know what, we're gonna do it a little bit different because by the end of the stream we're running out of juice a little bit, so we're gonna hit the biggest game of the week right after Thursday night football preview. We're gonna hit Cowboys Niners. So, and then we also decided, well, we will give sides on every game, but we're both gonna give our 5 best bets. We're gonna actually start tracking those, and we got to come up. If the chat could come up with some solutions, it'd be great. We need some sort of punishment, possibly a weekly punishment. I know last time I threw out like something stupid, like having to like wear my girlfriend's bra, throw like, some grapefruits or some watermelons in there and just do a stream like I have big boobs. Just something like that. We need the creativity of the chat. All right, running out of gas. Bears under, Raiders money line. All right, sick. And we will take breaks. I'd say let's hit Thursday night football, then let's hit the chat, then let's do Cowboys Niners, and then the rest of the slate. All right. So Cassidy, I haven't given you a chance to talk. Thursday night football. What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Terrible on the NFL. I feel like Thursdays end up being pretty shitty games. But Monday's also been pretty shitty. Yeah, Monday's been worse. But no one expected the Bears to be this bad. Everyone was pretty hyped about Fields going into the season, but like we'll see. I think the way to look at it is football is football. So we'll start there. This line seems like a trap to me, but I'm still going to take it. Commanders -6. For a couple reasons. Partially, I don't have the balls to bet on the Bears. And on top of that, betting on the Bears and losing is 10 times worse. If I bet against the Bears and I lose, you know what? I'm probably going to be pissed, but not too pissed. So we'll take the Commanders. So Commanders looked good last week. Week before they did not look good. How looked good against the Eagles like last, kind of game-winning drive, or not game-winning drive, almost game-tying drive looked good. The Bears looked better last week. I think the big thing is Fields like actually got out of the pocket, like running that play action, getting a bootleg with him always looks good. But I think this is actually a pretty low scoring game. I don't know what the over-under is, Ryan, but I think the Commanders win by like 10. I think the Bears kind of go back to life with that shitty offense, especially in prime time. You see teams kind of collapse. So I expect that to happen.
It's 45, by the way.
45. Yeah. What do you think?
Ooh, so I think this game.
You're going to go Bears.
First of all, I'm going with the over. I think I like the idea of taking the Commanders tonight, but not just taking the Commanders, because I think if they win, they're going to get insane. They have a chance for like pretty crazy margin. So like if you could, add another 7 points to that, take like the alt line, Commanders -13. I'm saying this because the Bears are in a terrible spot as an organization. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about how they have the first and second pick in the draft. Justin Fields, he's playing for his life out there. But Peter King, apparently he went on Chicago local radio and he said, don't be surprised. And he's not really a guy that gives these he's not a Jay Glazer. He doesn't usually say this kind of stuff. He said, don't be surprised if things go wrong on Thursday that the head coach is donezo. So yeah. This is a game where it could potentially it could open up and just be an absolute, slamming. Brian Robinson, take the over, all that kind of stuff. Now, you always have to watch out for just Thursday night shenanigans. Hal is very turnover prone. I mean, maybe there's a chance that Justin Fields puts on like a heroic performance. The Chicago D doing it for butt kiss, runs back a touchdown. But overall, I like the Commanders. Take the -6. You can throw the over in there if you want, but I particularly like that plus Justin Fields passing yards over.
Yeah. I saw something. The Commanders are like 2-22 though, off of a short week. How much does that really matter though? I always see those stats and it's like, okay, I mean, you are judging teams based off of like there's a big sample size there, but at the same time, like where like the team's so different now from 3 years ago. So I mean, I heard something like that. I don't really care. Again, I don't think betting Bears, like I have it in my blood to do that. And I'm hoping they fall apart on Friday.
David Simon just gives a very sobering, very sobering statistic. Just Bears are 0-14 in their last 14 games. It's true.
And Justin Fields has 1 win as a quarterback, right? Or something crazy like that. How many wins as a starter?
I think he has like 2 or 3. I mean, he beat the Niners in that slop fest last year, week 1 versus Trey Lance.
Oh, yeah, that rainy ass game.
Game.
Oh, man. We'll see. Like, do you think they score more than 14 points? Say 17.
Well, I could see Washington getting up huge and then the Bears just, they'll just coming back. I mean, it's not like the Commanders have a great D line. They get after the quarterback. They get a lot of sacks, but it's not like they're some, defense shutdown defensive team. Like they'll allow points.
Yeah.
I
think their offensive line actually played pretty well last week, surprisingly. But it's like, what Commanders are we going to get? Are we going to get the Eagles Commanders? Or are we going to get the Bills Commanders? Well, they lost 37-3 to the Bills.
True, but the Bills are bullies and the Bears are not bullies. So what would you say? I mean, do you think that this is kind of like I guess you could say they had kind of one of those sentimental losses, like a kind of, hey, we hung in there with the Eagles, but it was also a very emotional game. Is there going to be a slight hangover from that on a short week? Possibly.
Yeah, I could see that. But like also the Bears questionably had a more emotional game, losing that up 28-7. Like, what's the real difference there? They're both short weeks. I could see it being a super sloppy game, like you said, because it's like one shitty team going on a short week and one, I don't know where we put the Commanders. Like they're kind of like in that above average team in like our makeshift NFL rankings, but we'll see. I mean, we would hope we'd get a better game than this, but that shit happens. But I don't think at all anything matters about fucking Dick Butkus. R.I.P.
Well, it just gives them something to talk about on the broadcast. Exactly. As far as like, I think maybe the more fun thing is to just attack this game doing player props, like first touchdowns, that kind of stuff is fun.
You know what a first touchdown bet is?
What?
It's just handing over money.
I know.
Oh, man. I mean, like primetime games, yeah, it's fun, I guess. But then you throw like 4 first touchdowns and someone like fucking Cole Kmet will score.
Yeah. Oh, Cole Kmet's just pretty likely. I mean, the skill position players aren't huge, but I personally, as far as like the props go, love Brian Robinson over. That goes with the game script of, Commanders getting up big. And I think it's like 67 and a half.
Are you saying that just because you have them in fantasy or what?
Oh, I have them in like all my fantasy. No. I actually think this is a chance for a monster Brian Robinson game. I like Dotson. Dotson he's one of those guys that everyone drafted in fantasy very late and maybe with like, there's some upside. The underlying like metrics, he actually is getting like a massive target share. It's just kind of weird. He hasn't gone over 40 yards yet in a game. And I don't know. He looked kind of good last. I could see him going. I'd hit the over on Dotson. I think this is the first game he goes over 40 yards. And from the Bears, I mean,
don't care. Not going to do it.
I like Justin Fields over passing, under rushing, because the past 2 games, like he's been in similar scripts, and that's not. Yeah. And he's not really running because you worry about the running at the end of the game. And he really even, he was in that same situation last week. He didn't really run. I think passing over, rushing under. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can only like hope to God the Bears do something similar they did last week. Like they got Justin Fields out of the pocket, which is exactly what he did at Ohio State, right? Like it was all throws on the run. Like that's what he was doing when their offense was actually like rolling last year. When I say rolling, I know they didn't win games, but they were scoring a lot. And that's when he can actually run the ball too, when he gets outside the pocket. But if you're just going to sit there and have him drop back or in a shotgun and just have his feet flat, he's going to throw picks and he's just not going to move. So you can only hope the Bears like saw success in offense for the first time ever last week, and they're going to continue to do that. But I could see them like playing all into the other side of the ball, when at the end of the day, like you have to play into your offense's needs and like Justin Fields' needs. But back to what I said, anything can happen with the Bears. So look for Justin Fields and see if they run like a play action bootleg and get him out of the pocket. But if they don't, it's going to be a long fucking night.
Also, I like first touchdown. Maybe give out a first touchdown just for the thrill.
I don't really care. The
thing is, they're all pretty juiced too. I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah, that's the point. They're all juiced, so you just.
But like they're juiced towards Washington. So like you could get DJ. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Curtis Samuel at 14-1 if you're trying to have a thrill.
It's Sam Howell rushing TD.
That's pretty high. I kind of like Curtis Samuel. Just is pretty random, but it seems like he's getting a lot of action. Like I can see them doing something annoying, like him rushing in a touchdown. Okay.
All right. Hand your money over to your bookie and throw a first down. First touchdown TD.
Yep. All right. Okay. I think that's about enough on this game. All right. Let's move on to the Niners. Okay. Niners -3.5 versus the Cowboys Sunday night. I'm obviously super West Coast biased, so why don't you start with your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this, just leading up to this week. So this is obviously the biggest game of the week. Like, we all love that this is Sunday Night Football. So a couple things. First, this is Brock Purdy's coming out party. Since he's become super relevant, and then also on top of it, like continued the success from last year, which people weren't like 100% positive on, like he's been lights out this year. And this is going to finally be his coming out party, primetime TV Sunday night against the Cowboys. Like this is his chance. And not that he like personally needs it. I don't know if he does, but in the eyes of the public, this is the game where if he plays close to what he did last week, then he's going to explode. And like, if he really plays well and the Niners win by a touchdown, MVP talks are going to start happening. And I don't think it's ridiculous. I think right now in Vegas, he's like 6th best odds, which if you go out and beat the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, you would assume that jumps a little. I think this game's all going to come down to who goes up early, because both teams play super, super well when they're up. And the reason I say that is because both their defenses, like if you can pin your ears back and start rushing the quarterback because you have Bosa and Parsons, it could get ugly. And I definitely think it could get uglier for the Cowboys because that's going to force Dak to throw the ball, or to throw the ball under pressure or on the road under pressure. So, I mean, if the Niners go up early, like look for them to not roll, but like stay up the whole game. I think that's going to happen. I think they cover 3.5. I think the public's going to be on the Cowboys. I'll have to double check that here in a second, but I always see Vegas put out these lines, and like when it's -2.5 or -3, they tend to want you to bet on the favorite there. But like when it's 3.5, like a lot of times I've seen is like Vegas knows they're going to win by like 4 or 5, and everyone's going to want to take the Cowboys because like, oh, you're getting 3.5 points. That's how I like to think. But that's also why a sharp is at 56%, because we never fucking know. But I do like the Niners, like take the home team in this game. We'll see. But
is this one of your best bets, or is it?
It is.
Okay.
Niners -3.5. I assume I'll buy it to 3, but yes, it is one of my best bets. But I also, the one last thing about the Niners is like look for them to run the ball a lot. And the reason I say that is like if you establish the run, you're taking Parsons relatively out of the game, which is a top 10 player in all of football. And I don't think that is relatively debatable. But yeah, Ryan, like what is your confidence level going into this game as a Niner fan? And what worries you about the Cowboys, like especially with the Niners defense, or like if they get up, what worries you about the game? What's your confidence level here?
So my confidence level is that this is a best bet. Niners -3.5. So we're aligned. I just don't understand how, if you look this is the same line as the playoff game last year. Since then, I would say that the Cowboys have gotten slightly worse, and the Niners have been on a consistent uptick trajectory. Brock Purdy's only more comfortable. It's another year in the offense for Shanahan and McCaffrey. I think the team, I mean, they added freaking Hargrave. Like, I think that they are a better team. It's pretty clear than in that playoff game, yet same line. So I think the Niners, the Cowboys, the difference in their offense this year with McCarthy calling the plays is like Kellen Moore always wanted to keep pushing the offense. He wanted to be putting up points. And as you can kind of see with the Chargers this year, but with McCarthy, he's kind of an old school dude. I think he just wants to keep the ball away from the other team. Like, they're not really going on these long explosive drives. They're kind of just trying to maintain the ball, and then they just let their defense eat. The second they get up, they just let their defense eat. So I think that if the Niners, I agree that both of these teams want to play from in front. That's both of their strategies. But I think if the Niners get down, they could still come back and win this game because their offense is that good. I think if the Cowboys get down, it's dicey because Dak's really only played one game where he was down at all this year, and it was versus the Cardinals, and it looked horrible. So if I have a worry, it's just that Dallas's defense, even though they lost Diggs, they just have a super opportunistic defense. It's not necessarily like, I don't think as good of a defense as the Niners, but it's super opportunistic. So, I mean, yeah, you could maybe see Purdy getting pick sixed or and maybe getting a little bit flustered, something like that happening. Some sacks. I rewatched the game last year. I mean, it was kind of just a defensive struggle. But overall, I don't know. I see the game. It's like first time Shanahan has the ball, he's going to have that script. They're going to run down. McCaffrey's going to score a touchdown. And then all of a sudden they're up 7-0. And the same thing's going to happen, at the beginning of the first half. So, yeah, definitely I'm taking Niners by, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little bit of a blowout. One more thing is, since they've got McCaffrey, obviously they haven't lost a game outside of the Eagles game, which I don't really count. But not just that, which was, I think, week 11 of last year. They also, and if they win this game, it'll be the longest regular season winning streak in 49ers history, which is pretty shocking compared, considering like how good the 49ers were in the past. But against the spread, they've only not covered 3 times. And when they're covering these games by margin, easily, 7, 11, 12. And the only games they haven't covered are the Eagles game, which I completely throw out. The Raiders game, if you remember that last year, they still won, but they didn't cover the spread. And then earlier this year, I mean, they beat the Rams by a touchdown, but they didn't cover the spread because freaking McVay kicked the weird ball at the end. So they basically are covering all of these games. I have to think that the Niners are going to roll.
Yeah, right. Look for Brock Purdy. Huge statement game Sunday night. I would love to see it. I mean, he went 20 for 21 last week and is still not getting talked about enough. So we'll see.
Cassidy, did your mom?
Yes. All right. Next game, Ryan. I believe we have Jags Bills. What do you have?
I have Jags. It's another best bet.
All right. I'll let you start there. So Jags coming off a win, weird London game against the Falcons. And then Bills with a huge win off the Dolphins. Buffalo minus 5.5 seems a little low. What do you got?
Yeah, I got the Jags. Second of my 5 best bets. I mean, it's always scary playing the Bills. They're bullies, all that. But, I mean, they just blew their load everywhere versus the Dolphins. And I don't I think this game's going to be close. This is Josh Allen's first time in London. This is the first time we've ever had a team stay a week over in London. That has to be a benefit to that. There just has to be. And I didn't really think the Jags were particularly that good. It's just that Ritter was so terrible. So I kind of think, I don't know. I think this is just a good spot for the Jags. I don't know if they'll win the game, but plus 5.5, definitely taking the Jags. Jagging off.
Yeah. I'm kind of torn on this game. I mean, the Bills going to London, and yes, there is an advantage of the Jags staying there. it's hard to bet against the Bills with how good they've looked. And with the Jags, I mean, if they want to win, they got to make the Bills run. And I know you mentioned they ran well, but to be honest, like not that well. Like Cook had like 45 yards, and I mean, they exploded at the beginning of the game. Like Allen was doing his thing, but I'm not convinced they can run it extremely well. And like, I'm waiting to completely see that, but the Jags look good. I mean, it was the Falcons and Ritter played like shit. I want to see a little more from the Jags before I'm taking them like in Buffalo. It's going to be a little hard, but yeah, I just like this whole running thing with the Bills. People are telling him to run now. I'm like, why the hell would you get away from that? Like, you are throwing the ball so well. Like, let Josh Allen just sit there and eat. But the big thing about this game is how good the Bills defense has looked. Like, they slowed down the Dolphins that looked like a complete juggernaut through 3 weeks. And how much, like, the Dolphins, to me, still, their offense is much better than the Jags. But, like, yes, they did come off a huge win. They showed all their stuff. I'm sure they showed all their stuff on offense, which benefits the Jags. But I think the Bills win by like a touchdown, and I would assume this line would be -7. So I usually go with that, and I'll take the Bills.
Okay. Is that one of your best bets?
No.
Okay. All right. Next game, Falcons -1.5 versus the Texans. This is a difficult game. You could give me a compelling argument on either side. Is this one of your best bets?
No.
I mean, okay,
this
let's
is like
just
a
start.
stay away game almost.
It's a
but I want to
major.
bet on the Texans because of how fun they've been.
I
And
know.
This is a stay away game. Like, my logical mind, this is a stay away game, but
yeah, the logical
no game is.
The logical mind of like betting for a while is telling you, don't buy high, don't buy this high on the freaking Texans.
Yeah.
The Texans season win number is still like a game and a half below the Falcons. And the Falcons, you know, they've lost 2 in a row, but still, you know, they're supposed to be like an 8-9 win team. The Texans were supposed to be, I don't know, 5-6 wins.
Their total was 6.5.
Yep. But at the same time, it's like, there are these moments where it's like, if Stroud just is a wagon and their offensive coordinator, the former Niners OC guy, is awesome, and D'Amico's an awesome coach, and their defense is all of a sudden looking good, like, we could just be missing out on this, and this could just be like the biggest layup ever. But that said, I kind of think I don't know. I trust the Falcons. I weirdly trust Arthur Smith. I hate Ritter. Ritter fucking sucks dick. He murders everyone's fantasy value. But I think that he's got a little bit of Vrabel in him, where I think that this game's just going to remain close, and the Falcons defense pretty good. And I would lean towards Falcons. That's what my conservative betting mind would say, but I certainly don't have a feel.
Okay. I hate Ritter, but the Texans seem like such an easy bet and such an easy way to go. 65% of the cash is on the Texans. Listen to this. Ritter in college was 26-0 at home, and he hasn't lost at home in Atlanta.
True.
And this game is getting way more hype than, I mean, if you looked at it 4 weeks ago, it'd be like a write-off game, but the Texans actually are good now. And the Falcons started 2-0. Dropping 3 in a row would seem not crazy. I'm not sure. I'm more on the train of like going Texans seems like the easy way. And I'm pissed how much hype the Texans got, because it was like kind of like even us, like our secret team. But then it's like once they do that, and CJ Stroud is such a likable guy, D'Amico Ryans is such a likable guy, and it's just a good story. But I think the Falcons run the ball. Like, we hate to see it. I think it's going to be way less of an entertaining game than people think. Like, I think it's a low-scoring game, but I think Atlanta pulls it out. But, like, I hate to say that because it's just not fun to watch the Falcons. I do hate Ritter. I think
as a
Pitts.
As a show, we hate Pitts also.
No, I don't understand why no blame goes on that guy.
None.
With
Well, now the new thing is
now.
that he's
2
injured.
quarterbacks.
The new thing, he's
really?
injured. Yeah.
Okay.
As
Yeah.
Jonnu
What is it,
Smith is out there
hamstring?
just going
Hamstring,
off.
probably?
Yeah,
A fake
something,
hamstring injury?
some lingering
No,
knee
I'm
thing.
so tired of that guy. And this is coming. I don't even have him in fantasy this year. And I'm fucking tired of that guy. I had him last year, but I'm just the same shit this year. And all I hear, I said it last week, Pitts was so close. Like, that ball was just slightly overthrown. Like, I don't fucking care anymore. Like, produce or not. Because Drake London produced with both quarterbacks, and this guy's not. And he was the fourth pick in the draft. I'm fucking tired of that guy. I'm tired of that guy. He's not going to do anything this week. Pitts under yards every week.
The film bros just sucked him off so hard. I heard them making arguments that, he should go number 1 and he's going to revolutionize. He's immediately going to come in the game and be the second best tight end in the league. He's just kind of a skinny, like a slot receiver at this point. Like, he's like Michael Thomas, except way worse and not good in the passing game.
I mean, it's kind of like Darren Waller after that one good year he had, just not doing
true.
Shit.
I don't know what's going on with Waller. How are the Falcons so boring with all these early offensive draft picks? I know that is the craziest thing. Is like Arthur Smith seems like a smart guy. I like the way they're building the team, but then this is just they're getting these top 10 picks, and they're just like, all right, let's get Drake London and Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts, and also, like, why'd you trade away Calvin Ridley? Like, maybe you should have kept him. Like, if you're so horny for weapons. But yeah, it's like the perfect situation for somebody to come into, but yet they have Ritter as the quarterback. Like, just fucking bite the bullet, get rid of Ritter, send him to, I don't know, just cut him or something. I don't know. And then just play Heineke. Heineke with this offense would be
Heineke.
Fire.
We need
Heineke.
him. My whole outlook on the Falcons would change with Heineke.
I know. That's why I don't like.
Here's the thing to like answer that question. I'll ask you a question on top of that. Is this just the play calling?
No, dude. Like, even like Mac,
because they're running the ball a shitload. Yeah,
that even guy's Mac Hollins. He might be on steroids, but he's like wide open on a lot of the, like, he has these like bombs that would go to the house, and it's just Ritter literally can't, like, Ritter plays football like Brock Purdy after he, like, his shoulder exploded in the Eagles game. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But yeah, I mean, another week goes by not seeing Heineke, so we'll see.
I know, and it's like, how could they possibly have been like worse?
I thought for sure Mariota. Last game. Yeah, Mariota. I thought for sure last game that I think it was like his second pick, and then after halftime, I was like, okay, here comes Heineke. Nothing, dude. They scored 7 fucking points with all those weapons too. I'm just so tired of that guy.
Dude, and like, how did, like, Mariota seemed like the worst? Like, he seemed like I thought of him the way I'm like kind of thinking of Ritter right now, and except for Ritter actually is just way worse, a way worse version. Like, Cordero Patterson was, fantasy superstar last year in that offense. They were just moving it up and down the field, scoring touchdowns. London was great. Pitts was like, reasonable, like tight end 15.
Yeah, because he sucks.
Algier. Fuck. All right. Well,
fuck Algier too.
All right. Yeah. Also, you catch one too, Algier. All right. Lions -10. Wait, is this at home versus the Panthers?
Yeah. I think this line speaks to how bad the Panthers are. Like, are they, to you, are they the second worst team in football?
Are we saying the Bears are the worst?
Yes.
I mean, if you put them on a neutral,
but they're the bottom two, right?
Yeah, but I would bet the Bears on a neutral. Think about how coming into the year, everyone was like, "Oh, the Cardinals are tanking. The Cardinals are the worst team." Oh. The Cardinals should be favored by a touchdown versus either of these teams.
Depends if they're at home or not, but yeah.
I
think so. The Lions, like, the first week, obviously beat Kansas City. That was a huge fucking win.
Yeah.
They kind of like regressed a little bit after that, but I think last week you saw like the improvements they made in the offseason. And that starts with defense. Like last year, they were a top 10 offense in the league, or maybe 11. But you've just seen like what they've added on defense, like, and it's actually playing well. I'm happy to see that. Like as like a fake Lions fan, I'll take that all day. Because versus the Seahawks, that kind of went away. Like I need to see where that defense is. I think this is like another just stay away game for me. Like, why would I bet a 10-point spread? But a lot of times I see like those are the ones where the money is. And it's like the Panthers are going in. Like that was kind of brutal loss for the Panthers. You saw Bryce Young pretty like visibly upset after the game. And now you're going into Detroit, which is now turned into like a pretty good and like tough place to play for opponents. So
okay,
I'd say,
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Okay. You literally I'm not gonna say your life's on the line. You will become a eunuch if this bet loses. So you lose your testicles.
Okay.
All right. Just random generated teams. So you have no idea like who all's on the team, but you do have a choice of quarterback to win this game. And your first selection is Bryce Young, and your second selection or your second possibility is Joshua Dobbs. Who are you picking to save your testicles? Dobbs. Yeah.
Dobbs.
Dude.
Dobbs. Bryce Young hasn't showed me shit. He's just a tiny, like, worse version of Kyler Murray from what I've seen. But, like, I want to cut him slack, dude. Like, they gave him no help, which made no sense to me. Like, and you're just putting, like, a brand new quarterback, number one pick in an extremely shitty situation. I understand where you're at. Like, you got that pick for a reason because you suck. That's fair. I understand that. However, go out and get someone besides Adam Thielen, who's like towards the end of his career, to help a young guy out. Because like as a rookie, it's hard enough. And the reason I'm saying that is you've seen like some of the great quarterbacks start off extremely shitty. So I don't want to like jump to a huge conclusion yet. And maybe not extremely shitty, but more like a lot of picks to start. And you've seen those stats pulled up. That's why Stroud is such an anomaly. But I don't want to jump to a huge conclusion yet, because of his surrounding and what I've seen in the past. But I could see the Lions winning by like 20. I don't know what your thoughts is.
Yeah, just stay away. Line's too big. Panthers, I'll say this. The Panthers defense looked good. For the first time, the Panthers defense looked not bad. But, you know, they're kind of gross. I will say this, though. What we're seeing is
what do you think about Goff?
Goff's good.
Yeah, I know, but like, sorry, go ahead with what you're gonna say.
Oh, I was gonna say what we're seeing with the Panthers and the weapons thing. It is the classic. It's the absolute classic. You saw it with Justin Fields. You see Justin Fields struggling. He clearly doesn't have it. And then all the calls are like, well, come on, we haven't seen him with weapons. So they trade a second round pick for Claypool. You know, he's a little bit better towards the end of the year. This year they bring in DJ Moore, and now it's like, well, shit. Now we've spent a bunch of capital on DJ Moore and Chase Claypool, who's now basically off the team, and Justin Fields just sucks. I think you either have it or you don't. Thielen looked awesome with Andy Dalton. He looked completely rejuvenated. He looked sick. Yeah. I mean, some of those guys, Laviska Shenault is actually like a good player. DJ Chark. Like, I really don't think that, you know, I think if we put Bryce Young in Houston, we'd be saying like, oh, come on, he doesn't have anybody. But now like Bryce Young's like elevating Tank Dell and all those boys.
Yeah. And then, I mean, but it also is coaching, right? Like you said, Frank Reich is absolute trash. So that could be part of it too. But no, he's without a doubt, he's looked really bad. So I don't know. I want to give him a little bit more time, but call it as it is. The guy's been absolutely terrible so far. And going at Detroit, like they're going to get smoked. It just depends by how much. I'll take Detroit, like maybe buy it down to like 9. If it moves to 9.5, get it at 9. So if they win by 10.
I mean, Detroit, like at what point does this get a little weird with Detroit? Because that Seattle game is actually looking like bad. Like they kind of just botched that game. They should have won that game. And Seattle looks good. Seattle looks better than I expected, actually. So that all of a sudden that's looking like, you know, if that's your one loss and you beat the Chiefs
it's just hard with Detroit because of like how much hype they got in the offseason. it's just like hard to judge them, or like it's weird to even like to answer your question, like the overreacting and underreacting. Feels like everything's underreacting because of the hype they got at the end of last season and in the off season. But yeah, I mean, they're gonna win this game. Like they're at the Bucks and then Ravens. So that Ravens game is gonna be huge. If they win these next two, which is very doable, and go beat the Ravens, which is gonna be hard. But either way, like you said, that one loss is pretty shitty. And like, I mean, I think for sure they're a top 10 team, but they could creep up and get a little bit higher than that.
Yeah. Like maybe like they're a more competent like Chargers in the NFC or something. Okay, next game. Colts plus 2.5 at home versus the Titans.
Oh, give me the Colts.
Give me the Colts.
Give me the Colts.
Not a best bet for me.
It is for me.
Okay. All right. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead with what you got.
You know, I don't have much on this game, but Titans, they're just one of those teams where it's kind of like with Mike Tom, like when they're in a really bad spot and things seem to be, you know, falling to shit and Tannehill looks like Desmond Ridder, you got to just blindly trust that Vrabel's going to get the boys ready to play and just have an unbelievable performance and just have us all convinced that they're good. I think that I don't know what the like series history between the Colts and the Titans is, but I don't know. The Colts look good to me. I think that, I mean, and they're getting Jonathan Taylor back. The vibes are good. A-Rich. You know, I would lean interdivision. I'd lean towards Colts. Just because I honestly think that the Colts can put up a shit ton of points on the Titans. Pretty much the only team that hasn't dominated via the air versus them was the Bengals last week, and I just don't even know what to make of the Bengals right now. So I kind of think the Titans can't score enough points to keep up with this Colts team, especially at home. So I'd go Colts, but it's just a lean.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take an interdivision game, like getting 2.5 at home. That's always good. The Colts, like at home, I mentioned last week, are not as good as you'd expect. Like, but like I'll start with AR. I mean, like 11 for 25 last week, but you saw those explosive plays. Like with the Colts, like I kind of make a joke about it. Start Minshew, not sure how much of a joke that actually was, but with AR, it's like, are you willing to live with like the mistakes he's going to make, like for those crazy plays you see 6 or 7 times a game that are like eye-opening? And that goes back to what I said. It's like, he's not completely ready, and there are some crazy plays he's going to make, and then there's going to be mistakes he's going to make. It's going to be a roller coaster of a game, and it just depends like when those big plays come, but then it comes back to the Colts defense. The Titans seem very up and down though, and they were terrible 2 weeks ago, scored 3 points, I think. Huge win last week. I could see them coming back down because it's like an every other game thing almost with them. And the Colts know how to play them. Like they're not going to let Derrick Henry run everywhere. Like they've seen that so many times, and they've seen him so many times. I'm not saying they're going to completely shut down Henry, but they're going to make Tannehill throw the ball. Like they know how to beat the Titans. They've done it before, like playing them so many times in their division. So I'll take the Colts at home, getting 2.5, like buy that up to 3. I think that's a relatively safe bet and is one of my bets of the week.
Okay. You know what? Yo Stricken, who's just been an absolute OG since we started potting. He's been the man. He sent some picks for tonight's game. And since it's about to start, let me just share pictures of what he sent me so everyone can tail him. All right. This is the first one. Let's see. Khalil Herbert and DJ Moore over 0.5 rushing and receiving. I mean, that just sounds pretty good. I don't know what the odds are on that. That's crazy. I can't do that on my book. I mean, I think Herbert
is this Prize Picks.
Yeah. Prize Picks. DJ Moore, obviously, I mean, he's the number one. He's getting the most targets. Like if Justin Fields is going to throw touchdowns, probably going to be to DJ Moore or Kmet. And then Khalil Herbert is clearly the goal line guy. So I think that's a good bet. Sam Howell, fantasy points over 17. Yeah, I think he's had at least 17 in 3 out of his 4 matchups this year. So versus the Bears, I think that's pretty likely. Yeah. And Brian Robinson over 6.5 receiving yards. I mean, yeah, he usually has like 20, 23 receiving yards. He usually has a couple
Take
catches.
that.
I like that.
I wish I could do Prize Picks.
I know. Wait, what the
We
hell?
live in fucking California.
Oh, that is awesome. All right, he has 2 more. I think this is the second one. Okay. Justin Fields over passing yards, 193.5. Love that. Brian Robinson over 66.5. Love that. Joey Sly, less than 7.5. My brain can't quite compute that right now. Is that so? That means like he would have. Okay, so like let's say he kicked.
So say they get 3, extra points. So he's basically saying 1 field goal, a couple extra points will happen.
Yeah. So
and
as
that
long
can't
as
be
it's
more
one
than like
field
2.
goal.
Yeah.
1 field goal. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like it. TJ Edwards, linebacker. Is that just a butt kiss bet that the linebackers? Oh no, it's an anti butt kiss. Less than 9.5 tackles. Oh, I like it. I mean, yeah,
Right.
I bet Justin Fields and Brian Robinson. He has 1 more. We're sharing. Okay. Justin Fields, more than 1.5 passing and rushing. Like it. Robinson over. Yep. Attempts less than 31.5. I mean, yeah, I like that based on the game script. Going to be running the ball a bunch. Okay,
I would
yeah.
tail if I could.
I would tail if I could. Yeah, exactly. All right. Then we also have drop 1, Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott.
Dak.
Is this in fantasy?
Yeah, or just in general, like who would you not like? Who would you want essentially?
Well, I mean, in real life, I would like Dak more. In fantasy, Russell Wilson's been pretty good, actually.
Yeah, he's been solid. I mean, not amazing, but like, yeah.
I mean, I'd take Russell Wilson.
If it was a late round draft, yeah.
This week, definitely, as opposed to Dak versus the Niners. Okay. Drop them both, you buffoon. Love it. All right. Let's move on. Next game, Dolphins -12, home versus the Giants. No feel for this game. Both teams got humiliated, but the Giants might have been franchise-alteringly humiliated. And Dayball was cussing out Daniel Jones on the sideline.
God, that was like as bad as it gets. Like, I know New York like boos a lot, but that was like excessive, dude. And for good reason. And like, yeah, offensive line, yeah, Daniel Jones, they were both fucking bad. Like everything was bad. You don't even try to blame it on one or the other. They both sucked. So it can only go up from here is the positive. But you are playing the Dolphins who had a shitty week and they might just get shit stomped. Like I could see that easily happening. Not going to bet the Giants. I think the Dolphins have a huge bounce back week. And the thing about playing the Giants too is like when you have that good of an offense and you had 1 week, like number 1, you want to come back hot. Number 2, just if you're playing, your confidence level is just higher when you play the Giants. Like it's gotten to that point. Like, oh, we're playing the Giants. Like, let's air it out. Like that could go against your favor, but they're going to score 30 points at least. And like, do you think the Giants are going to keep up at all with that? Probably not. -12 is like close to as big as it gets in a spread as well. So that just shows how disrespected the Giants are, and for good reason.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. It's a little bit of a let's see what you got, Dayball, because he was coach of the year. They won a freaking playoff game last year. I have no feel on this game. It'll just be kind of interesting to watch. It does feel like the Daniel Jones experiment. Well, it's not an experiment anymore. They paid him. It just goes to show you, like, Dayball got in the building. He was not convinced about Daniel Jones, and he let himself get sucked in. Daniel Jones is like one of those guys, like, once the game speeds up and they're playing really good teams and it's fast out there, like, he just can't hang. He can't process fast enough. I mean, that was pretty embarrassing. The Seahawks don't have like some spectacular pass rush, not at all. And, the Seahawks had like all backup offensive linemen in the game. Like that was just gross. That was really gross. Yeah.
I hated watching that. This is actually good though, because you get to see potentially the Dolphins just fucking explode again. I'm hoping we get that. but we'll see. Like, it's a game that I will not be watching.
No, just like fantasy wise, you know what? Bet Jalen Waddle to have a nice game. He's due. I could see McDaniels really wanting to get him going. Okay, Patriots. Now it's even at home versus the Saints. We had a bet on Tuesday. Even though we both hate Mac Jones, I came in. What did we set the? Oh, did you remember? I might have to go back and look at the show.
It
was
what?
like over under some number of Patriot wins, and I took over, and you took under.
Oh, it was 5.5 or 6.5.
I think it was 6.5. Yeah. I took the over. You know what? I coming off that disagreement, I actually just bet the Patriots -1.5, and it's now moved. It's moved all the way to even. So everyone's coming in on the Saints. I mean, again, it's Mac Jones. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Derek Carr also, like, what the fuck, dude? So this is going to be just a disgusting, like, offensive display. You got to imagine both sides just want to kind of hold on to the ball. You know?
Do you think this goes under?
Oh, God.
39.5?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Yeah. 39.5.
That's bad.
That's bad.
It's not. It's what's lower is Steelers Ravens, but
yes,
yeah, no, it's bad. Derek Carr though. This is actually one of the games I had the Patriots winning, so I'm going to take them. Derek Carr against a really good defensive coach gets exposed.
Dude, wait, I love Yostricken. Time to rip the bong and stress over football gambling. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll take the Patriots to win by like 5 or 6. I think Derek Carr gets fully exposed. Is he playing this week?
Yeah.
I could see him getting pulled like second quarter. Like, he's against Bill Belichick. I've seen it a few times. It's gonna get bad quick. And the Patriots, like, I know they lost. So they got J.C. Jackson. They lost Gonzalez for the year, but like at the end they lost Judon. So, but at the end of the day, it's more of like scheming versus Derek Carr. Yes, players are good to have, and it's like a huge loss. But Derek Carr, like, I know he's like on the East now, but it's something about him playing AFC East teams. Like, it just goes so poorly. This could be due to my confidence, like with Derek Carr and just being scarred from so many years of it. But I'll take the Patriots at home. Don't like fading them when they're at home either.
This is like a Belichick, like, dude, come on, Belichick. Like, Belichick, has the game passed you up or has it not? Game. You got to win this fucking game. Give me, That's why I wanted to bet it. I mean, it makes me nervous about the line. Maybe that's something about Derek Carr's health. I don't know. But
oh my God, Bears.
What happened?
Here, DJ Moore, just massive catch.
Really? Oh, fuck. Immediate stress. All right. I already forget what I bet. Oh, no.
We're on Steelers Ravens. So,
best bet? Is this a best bet for you?
Yes.
I think everyone in the world needs to be betting this, because if anyone that's watched football and has enjoyed football for the past like 7 years, I'm calling out your football knowledge. I'm calling out your football watching hours. If you do not take the Steelers in this spot,
have to. Like, would you go as far as to say you'd be willing to pay some of their losings if they lose?
No, because I'm broke.
Oh, fuck with you. All right, why do you like the Steelers, sir?
I already like forgot all the trends, but it's something crazy. Like I think it's the last 7 games. Do you have it written down? I think it's last 7 games have been 3 points or less.
Yes.
That is it?
Yeah, 8.
Oh, fuck. Oh, it's 8. Okay, cool. So last 8 games, 3 points or less. It's in Pittsburgh. Last week we talked about Tomlin, it not being a very good trend, him being more than a 3-point favorite on the road. It was just a bad spot, but it is the perfect setup spot for the rah Mike Tomlin. I will say the offensive Matt Canada totally got caught with his burner. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah, he did.
Got fucking exposed, and he's basically just like ripping Kenny Pickett. But
Yeah.
I kind of hope Kenny Pickett doesn't even play for this bet. They were saying MCL, now they're saying it's a knee bruise. I want Mitch. Give me Mitch. But even if we don't get Mitch, Kenny Pickett, whatever, it's going to be gross. I actually think Najee might have a not bad game. But more than anything, it's the Tomlin factor, it's the rivalry factor, it's the 4.5 factor, and I don't think the Ravens are that good. The Ravens got completely overinflated from last week's win versus DTR. The only reason why they put up that many points was just because the Browns defense was on the field for the entire game and DTR couldn't do a single freaking thing. So,
yeah.
No,
yeah, I agree. So the dog has covered 11 straight in the series. And then on top of that, the record and the line, like I was going to say, has been within 3. So I'll take the Steelers here. I know it's hard to see after that loss, but Tomlin coming off a loss at home, he knows this team well. And I think, like, yeah, if you were to not watch football, like, you would expect the Ravens to be -7 based on how they're playing. But how good have the Ravens been? I would say not that good. All their wins have been pretty sloppy. And if you play sloppy against the Steelers, I don't think it's going to be that. It's going to be close. Like, it's going to be a close game. These games.
Oh, who scored the touchdown?
DJ Moore. He has like 80 yards. Yeah, best bet of the week. Like, take Steelers at home, division rivalry. I think the casual better will be all over the Ravens, and yeah, the Commanders will not win.
Oh wait, that's such a peak for everyone that bet. I will say, in transparency for tonight's game, I bet Commanders. I bet Commanders big, but I also bet Bears money line. So I thought there was a chance. The second I saw Butkus get injured, I shouldn't say Butkus got injured. He got dead. He's a dead person.
Got dead.
Yeah, no longer alive. It felt like maybe that could happen. Well, that's pretty good though. DJ Moore, I bet a lot of people cashed on that. All right. Yeah. So best bet, everyone and your mother, please bet the Steelers, and the Ravens are going to house them. Okay. Now we got Rams plus 4.5 versus the Eagles. As we know, we're an anti-Eagles podcast. This is another one of my best bets on the Rams plus 4.5. Yeah. Oh, unalive. Havel's right. Got to keep it monetized. By the way, please, everyone that's not subscribed, please subscribe. And, if you have a couple accounts, maybe do that. Spread the word. Once we get to 500, I think we're like 50 away. We can start getting some sort of awesome thing. Like, I think we can start getting tipped or something like that. I don't know. But also another announcement, midstream announcement. Cassidy, haven't brought this up with you, or maybe I did. I think we should. So I'm going on Larry Krueger's show after the Niners Cowboys, which is obviously going to be a huge, probably stream and stuff. But then what I'm going to do is very snaky. After about an hour, I'm going to tell everyone that I need to go, and then that I'm going to my stream. And if anybody would like to come check it out, we're going to run through, not just Niners Cowboys, but the rest of
all their listeners.
So realistically, not many, but so we will be doing that Sunday night. Also, I think we should also do Monday night, because Monday night is Raiders. So we should do just like a Raiders post game. No,
yeah, I'm just going to be sad.
Oh, come on. All right. Well, anyway, this is a pretty quick one. Eagles super overrated by all the numbers. They had whatever, good win, but they're traveling across country to Rams land. Cooper Kupp might be back. And thank you, Graves. Not sneaky. That's smart. Thank you, Graves. Anyway, Rams catching 4.5 home versus the Eagles. I mean, the Rams are just pretty good. The Rams are pretty good. I'm just down on the Eagles, and that's about that. I think that the Rams keep this a field goal game.
Yeah, I think so. I was watching something like earlier today. Stafford's been great this year. Like,
he's been great.
He's been great this year. Like, I understand the record maybe doesn't reflect that, but like, they played the Niners one game. The one thing about this game, and I think why the spread is that way, is this is like going to be a 50-50 crowd. I would say. Like the
True.
Eagles travel well, going to LA. Like those games are already relatively not that good, and Eagles are probably the best traveling, like them and the Steelers in the NFL. So I wouldn't necessarily call this a home game. I do think the Rams cover this spread. We are an anti-Eagles podcast here. I think Stafford has a good game. Like the Eagles secondary has looked pretty questionable this year. They went and got Roby this week. I'm not sure if he's going to be ready, but like they needed that to have like a slot corner. So Bradbury doesn't have to play there because Bradbury is like actually a playmaker on defense. So we'll see if Roby plays. Like if not, like they don't really have necessarily a slot corner and could potentially get exposed by Stafford. Maybe not exposed, but I think they definitely cover the spread. And I potentially think this is going to be game of the week material behind Cowboys Niners. When I say game of the week, like a good game, like exciting game. I'm hoping for like a super high scoring game. Both defenses have looked a little shaky. I'll take the Rams to cover, but I think the Eagles pull it out.
Yeah. I mean, bottom line, like I think the Rams are maybe like the 12th best team in the league. The Eagles are,
they were like right on our fringe, both of our top 10.
4th, 5th. Can't even spell. I don't think I could spell hepatitis. I heard if you bump shoulders with an Eagles fan, you get Hep C. That's funny. Well, yeah. Eagles are due for a loss also. Okay. Then, but Rams is the best. Yeah, I have Rams best bet plus 4.5. I don't know about money line. I don't know about. Yeah, I guess I mean maybe sprinkle a little bit on money line.
This was actually not my best bets.
Well, you know what? This is also a beautiful, beautiful teaser spot because the Rams aren't going to get blown out. If you want to just throw, 6 points on that, you get Rams plus 10.5. I don't know. You can find. Oh, you know what? Here. I'm giving this one away for free. This is a free teaser. I'm giving you a free teaser right here. Tease 6 points, 2 teams, 6-point tease. Steelers up to 10.5, Rams up to 10.5. Can't lose.
Can't lose.
All right. Can't lose. All right. Next game is actually my final best bet and possibly my biggest best bet of the week. And that is Cardinals plus 3 at home versus the Bungles.
I like cards here. I'm not sure you like. You opposite way.
Yeah. No. Best bet cards.
Best bet cards. I mean, dude, the Cardinals have been playing well. And so the one thing I saw Joe Burrow's like off the injury report this week. I'm not really sure what that means or like what exactly they have to do. But I'm going to go with the team that's looked good and is playing at home. Like buying this up to 3.5, like getting a field goal or more. What have the Bengals like shown me so far? And I don't see them having like this huge drastic turnaround in 1 week. And if people want to say, oh, they're playing the Cardinals. Okay. Yeah, they are playing the Cardinals who have looked good. And like going on the road, you don't really see teams just completely turn around and click. And yes, that can happen week to week, but when they haven't done it all season, I don't see them turning all the way around. Also, T. Higgins is out. Like, is Burrow going to miraculously, like his calf, get that much better? I don't see it happening. The Cardinals are playing well. I'm going to go that way. But game of the week for you?
Yeah, it's my best bet of the week.
Cardinals.
I mean, it's really is like, I know the conservative betting, like you can't be too crazy, and especially this Bengal team starts slow. But I mean, based on these 4 games, Dobbs has been better than Joe Burrow, and it's really not particularly close. Burrow's his ADOT, his average depth of target is like, I think it's like him and Ritter. Like he's barely throwing past the line of scrimmage. It's just like, especially now without Higgins is like one guy that he launch him up to. It's just going to be little dink and dunks to Tyler Boyd. And this Cardinals team, I mean, they've been in every game. You could make an argument that they could be 4-0. I mean, that's not actually, I mean, the Niners game was kind of a false final. They were completely in that game. It's just that the Niners literally played perfectly. But if the Niners showed up with their B game, the Cardinals could have won that game. It was a valiant loss. And even though it's 35-16, that looks much worse than it actually was. They beat the Cowboys. They, lost in a crazy sort of upset or crazy meltdown to the Giants, and they lost, by 4 to the Commanders in a really close game. They're just a solid ass team. Bengals haven't shown anything to be a 3-point favorite. The only thing that scares me a little bit is it was on the look ahead line, Bengals -7. But the reason for that look ahead line was it was like right after the Rams game, and it like seemed like maybe they were back and their defense was back. But I don't think so. I think you got to go Cards here. You just got to.
Where do you think the public is?
I think the public is. What do you know what the public is? I mean, I would think it's pretty split, honestly. Is it on the Cards?
Cash is 79% on Cardinals, tickets 54.
Okay.
So maybe smart money's on Cardinals. I'm still going to go that way. I think a lot of people will put like Bengals money line in their parlays, and that could just fuck everything up. But
yeah,
I just don't see that like a drastic turnaround like from the Bengals. I don't know. Like I'm going to believe it until I see it. But you're also, I mean, dude, like imagine like saying what you said about the Cardinals preseason. Like they're just a solid team, like wild. But
yeah, it's nuts.
Not to give them credit for what they've done, right? Like they have looked good. They've been in every single game. I know that's kind of like a losing attitude to say that, but on top of it, fuck, like this seems like such a must win for the Bengals, dude. Like I can't like they had Super Bowl aspirations, which were way too high in my opinion, but like, to say that shit and like come out and go 1-4 and have a loss to the fucking Cardinals, dude, I want to see it. Because I've never been that high on the Bengals, but God, they are desperate. And sometimes when people are desperate, they play a little bit timid. And I could see that happening against the Cardinals. But yeah, put that on watch. I wish it was an upset alert, but it's just not at this point.
No. Okay. Broncos -2.5 at home versus the Jets. Now, I will note immediately that the Broncos D, although they've been the worst ever, they are not as bad at home. They're just not. They're going even back to last season. They are not as bad at home. It's just maybe it's altitude. I don't know. But you got Zach Wilson coming in there. I mean, I don't really feel confident about either of these teams. I don't have a best bet. I have a slight lean to the Broncos just because I can't imagine Zach Wilson doing that again. Also, I kind of think the Broncos offense has been sort of quietly not bad. And yeah, I think their defense can be a little better at home. Do you have any big thoughts on this game?
No, I think a low scoring game, like over-unders at 43.5. I would take that under. I mean, it's all about what Zach Wilson you're going to get. Like we saw like a spark of that, but I don't think you get anywhere near because like he looked for a point in that game, he looked like incredible.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to get that like going on the road. Like maybe he'll ride some of that confidence from last week, but like I think he plays like average and not like the absolute shit he was or not like that super high point. I think he plays average, but like you said, the Broncos offense like has not been terrible. And there isn't like a ton of like Russell Wilson slander this year because like he actually hasn't been that bad. And their defense has just overrid that and like made them absolutely terrible. So I'll go with the home team here just because like I don't really know on this game. I'm not going to bet this game.
No, I don't think you could. I just don't think Zach Wilson has the competitive stamina. Like, I think he was pretty locked in, it being Sunday Night Football and all, and Rodgers being there, and Taylor Swift. I think that
is Rodgers going because I feel like
I know
is that a factor, dude.
It might be a factor, and I would say that he probably is going, so he can go just shove his face full of mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know. I guess I don't really care.
Stay away game of the week.
Jaleel McLaughlin looked pretty electric. I don't know.
Yeah, pick him up in fantasy.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, Vikings +3.5 versus the Chiefs. I like this game. I loved it at 4.5. At 3.5, I'm just leaning Vikings.
Okay. This is one of my picks of the week, Vikings. I know the Vikings are 1-3, but like they can still compete with a lot of teams. And I think everyone going into this game expected like Chiefs minus 4.5, minus 5, potentially 6. But like, you have to look at the Vikings this way. They still believe that they're in it and they're going to play that way. I do think this ends up being a high scoring game, but the Chiefs have looked kind of shaky. Like, they looked shaky last week. Who knows, like, if they'll get that off, but this is also a team they like haven't really played that much. So
wait,
I could see like more of a shootout, but I would lean Vikings, and yeah, definitely my picks of the week.
Oh my God. Bears are rolling.
Rolling.
Oh, Khalil Herbert.
Rolling.
Oh God. Wow. Yeah. You know what? The thing about that Herbert, he's been pretty good. The other guy, Roshan Johnson, that got a little bit of hype, I think he's just only in there in losing game scripts, which shockingly hasn't been the last 2 games. Fields is already halfway to his projected passing yards. Taking the over was genius. Thank you. And what's his rushing? I don't think he's running the ball really lately.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. So yeah, Vikings. I think it's a good spot. The Vikings kind of looked like shit versus the Panthers. This is like feels like kind of a get right game. And all of a sudden, you know what? I could see the Vikings winning this game outright. And if the Vikings win this game, all of a sudden, 2 wins. They're in a shitty division. Packers look shitty. I don't know. Maybe it could get weird. Okay, is the last game Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
Raiders, Packers. I'm leaning Raiders.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't bet it. Wait, maybe I did already bet it, actually. I might have bet it on like Monday. I might have bet it on like Monday because Raiders -1. The Raiders have to win this game. If Jimmy G's back, they're gonna win this game. Let me see. Did I? Let me see. Yes, I bet well, here's the thing. This is one of those douchey things that like the radio hosts like make up. They find like some line that doesn't exist and they're like, oh yeah, I got it when it was 2. I got Raiders +2, but I actually did get it at Raiders +2 because we were going over the lines on what is it, Monday or Tuesday or whatever. And I just saw that it was +2 and that didn't make any sense. And that seemed to me to be indicating that Jimmy G wasn't going to play. And I just didn't see how Jimmy G possibly wouldn't play. So yeah. -1 seems like Jimmy's playing. I don't know. I think the Raiders are not, they can't be this bad. And if they lose this game, I think McDaniel should be fired.
Yeah, that was the first thing I was going to say. This is a ultimate hot seat for McDaniel's game. Like the Packers, they started off well. They've kind of fallen off. This is such a winnable game, like at home on a Monday night. Like they should be like Jimmy. This is assuming like Jimmy's going to play, which it sounds like he is. The Raiders have still been in every game, but like it's just the last thing just hasn't fucking been there. And a lot of it's been coaching, but like I look for Devontae to have a bounce back game. Like he was a little injured. This optimistic side has to go for me as a fan. Like, because it just crushes me, dude. Like, and I'm at the point now where like, I wouldn't be surprised if they got smoked. And I just have to think that way at this point because I'll be so like going 1-4, like and people can like laugh at me if they want, but like good players on this roster.
Yeah.
Like you had 3 first-team All-Pros last year. And if you come off that and go 1-4, dude, but like you're just laughing because it's fucking gonna happen.
No, I genuinely think like if Jimmy G played last week that the Chargers or the Raiders would have won. I genuinely think they're gonna win this week. That rookie, I did see something funny. It was like the rookie edge that you have, like just got pancaked by Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny. But Josh Jacobs is back. Josh Jacobs looked fantastic.
Yeah,
so that's huge. Just to have the running game. I mean, your team it's got to be about running the ball. And those first couple of games with Jimmy, there was no run game. And it had to be just Jimmy passing. And I think that he was better than like the, picks and everything suggest. The ball was moving. It was pretty good. So yeah, I think Jordan Love also, my opinion is leaning towards
average.
Yeah. Just like like brutally average. Like,
Yeah.
and he's just like he's like all about the just deep completions and low completion percentage. I don't know. I could see the Raiders actually getting up. You know what? This is my prediction. If the Raiders are to lose this game, it's going to be Raiders are up 21-3 and
Blow it.
It's looking great. And then all of a sudden Jordan Love is heaving it and they blow
Well, that's
it.
what they did
possible.
last year. They blew 5 games up 10.
By the way, what happened to that kid that started in the Niner game last year that looked fucking unbelievable?
Who? Like what position?
Quarterback. Yeah. He started for the Raiders and he was awesome. And he torched the Niners D.
Oh, Stidham?
Yeah. They shucked him.
He got like decent money somewhere else, but okay. Also, like he just played good in that game and played absolutely terrible in the rest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that was shocking.
Yeah, no, he played really good in that game, but next 2 he was absolutely terrible.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing that now.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, that's
the Raiders are in a good spot to win, but I think they might blow this. And then it sucked.
I'll be betting it by Monday.
Their next games are Packers, Patriots, Bears. So like those are all winnable games, but there's no, and they're all the first 2 are at home, then going to the Bears. It's a bad spot as it always is.
You got to win 2 out of 3. You just got to.
I know, but you know this story, man.
Yep.
You've seen it a million times, and I will never be confident with McDaniels. Whenever he's at the helm, like we're fucked.
Dude, and like the way Belichick is like not looking good, like it just kind of makes like McDaniels look worse, and not good. But all right, well, 10-0. I mean, is it time to live bet the Commanders or?
Yeah.
I could see how maybe Hal doing one more like really stupid thing, like strip sacked or
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm seeing what it's at.
This is actually going to be a pretty fun game to watch. So
it's
yeah,
pretty even.
The thing we got to think about for next, I would like to have a micro punishment where it's like every week, we can compare our 5 bets. Whoever does
you have
worse.
To bet on the Falcons.
Does a slight punishment, and then at the end of the year there has to be a big mega punishment.
Yeah.
Jimmy G in Vegas making Purdy look even more like a gem. You're telling me, dude, I swear to God, Abza calls me at the end. What's up, dude? You're live on air.
On air?
Yeah.
Oh God. Are you with Andrew?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, right. What's the topic today?
We're talking Bachelorette. Talking football.
Really? I haven't started the season yet. I hope it's pretty good.
Dude, do you want to get some football takes off?
Yes, and I was thinking about that. I was thinking Jeter's kind of off this season.
All right, I'll let you.
Nah, dude, here's the thing, man. I've just been nonstop. I can't stop dreaming about the Niners. I want to hear your take.
You know how to butter my biscuit. All right.
Yeah.
Dude, Havel's in the chat, mixing it up.
Oh, how many fans we got right watching that?
Oh, we got
5.
Looks like 6, 5.
Okay, well, we're live. Okay, well, if anything, I think I could actually come up with a little something that might entertain the audience a little bit.
Okay, what about this? What should Andrew and I bet for like who whatever ends up happening? Like, what should be our punishment for like who loses the week?
Oh, okay, that's a really good question. You just give me.
What do you got, Adza?
Is that so? Is that what you're thinking?
Hello. What?
What? Okay, let's see. Let's think here. Okay, how intimate are you gonna get?
Intimate? You could make it weird.
Yeah. Oh, we could make it weird. Well, I'm gonna make it so appropriate that I would never get canceled.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, so whoever loses has to write a fan letter to Jordan Peterson and post a video reading it out loud.
That's humiliating.
It's Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Oh, that would be brutal. All right.
Yeah, I was thinking whatever it is, it needs to be shame-based.
Okay. Yeah. Shame it has to be shame based. All right. Well, you know what? I think we'll, I mean, hey, at least you gave a suggestion. We don't really have anything else.
I'm sorry?
We don't really have any other ideas. So thanks for at least giving us one. All right. I think we're going to end the stream now, but thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. See ya.
See ya.
Pleasure.
All right. Classic ads. A huge sports fan. Is Jeter's out there. All right. Well, I think that should wrap it up. I mean, I kind of want to go watch this horrible game.
Yes,
There's a lot of
sir.
intrigue. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for everyone that's hung with us throughout the whole thing and give us suggestions. I think we'll maybe have like some more shows. We'll do like some college football, do some college basketball when it comes to it. And also, I don't know, call-in show or something. Fucking, I don't know. All right. Well, that does it for us. For Andrew
Peace.
and Ryan, peace.